Hi, thanks for joining me today. My name is Lloyd Norman. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Solutions for ProSymmetry. Today, we're going to be talking about using roadmap models to optimize portfolio outcomes. This is actually the fourth in a series of videos I've been producing talking about smart capacity planning and how to use that to optimize your portfolio, in particular for running hybrid portfolios. This is actually true for any methodology. The process basically looks like this. SMART is an acronym, stands for sizing your work, modeling your work, which we're going to be talking about today. And then once you get the ideal sequence of work, you've optimized the flow for the least amount of risk, then you get approval for that. You align your production roadmap with your model, and you do that continuously in a transparent sort of a way. You're constantly syncing capacity and financials to your business strategy. All the while, your teams and projects are down here executing. The level of coordination right above them is coordinating capacity to make sure they are reserving capacity so that when your teams get to their quarterly planning events and they're breaking down work into stories or individual tasks, they already have the resources and the capacity set aside for them to be able to do the work they need in that time frame. We talked about how to do this easily on an ongoing basis in some of the earlier videos. So I would encourage you to go out to prosymmetry.com and take a look at those. Today, we're going to be talking about modeling. One other thought about modeling is that it's not just about capacity. Capacity is always what gates portfolio flow, but you have to be cognizant and plan simultaneously on what are the financial impacts if you've got large CapEx issues going on with individual projects. How does this affect your work mix commitments that you've made to the board, or capability independencies, perhaps, that you have to be aware of as well? So we're going to show you today a nice, easy interface that lets you do all of those things simultaneously, very easy to use. This is our model. You can have as many of these models as you want. Anybody that's authorized can do this. This is a digital twin of your portfolio. Those items in blue up here are actually those that are approved or in flight. The items in gray are proposals, right? And down below, you can see the various skills and roles. You can organize these however you want. It doesn't take longer than 10 minutes to set up one of these models. Again, very intuitive, very easy to use. But this is typically what we see. The portfolios up above, the roles down below. And you can see before we do anything in terms of adding new work to the portfolio, we've already got some issues in terms of overallocation by skill set here. You can see we're slightly over with architects. Compliance is underwater, certainly in one of these months. But now when we get down to the automation engineers, part of engineering shared services, right? We got to do something about this, right? They're just too heavily overallocated, plus too unique a skill set for us to be overworking them. That's not a good retention strategy. So let's look at the work, right? And this interface allows you to do this. You can see the percentage of work that each of these projects or epics, they can be either, are driving. We don't want to move the high value work. Let's go take a look at this medium value work in Indigo. And I can go in here and actually just shut it off. Again, we can do whatever we want in this. It's a digital twin, so there's no impact on production. But let's take a look at shifting this work. And you can see in real time the impact of shifting this work out. Something else you'll see here is that it's not just the automation engineers. It's everybody, right, that's on these projects. And that's the nice thing about having a modeling tool like this. This is virtually impossible to do in a tool like Excel or a PPM tool. You've got to be able to see all the cascading impacts, at a single point for, hey, what does it look like before I move the project and after, before and after? You can do this month by month, quarter by quarter. I like to plan at a monthly level. You can do this at a week level as well. And so very, very helpful before and after. At the same time, you're impacting financials, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. So let's pop back out here and slide down, because I want to show you this for an Agile team as well. A lot of people talk about planning at an art level. I'm not a fan of that unless you have fully cross-functional art, which is a rarity. Usually you have teams, because teams are associated with a specific skill set or certain apps that they support, right? And so in this particular case, you can see that our validation team here is just totally blown away in the mid part of the year. So again, you're out here and you can say, hey, I can't move my KTLO. That helps me meet my SLAs. These are top 10 enterprise rankings here. I really would prefer not to talk about moving them. I don't have any really good choices here. It's all high value work, but let's take a look at Quicksilver 7. What happens if I start to shift that out? And again, you can see in real time, wow, I certainly have helped my validation team. Who else out here, am I helping? And I'm like, oh, okay. Again, all the other interrelated teams that are working out here. But you might notice as well that I'm inadvertently making it worse here, at least in some of these months, for some of these roles. So let's go look, for example, in June. I was reasonably allocated on my cybersecurity engineers. Now I'm overallocated. I'm overallocated again in July. So this is an example of how beneficial it is to be able to do this in a modeling setting where it would just be impossible to do this. Again, if you're looking at this in some sort of an Excel setting or trying to do this at a project by project level in sort of, one of these large monolithic project and portfolio management tools, if you will. You need something lean and streamlined that can show you this. Now let's pop back up here and say, okay, I've got some proposals. This is another common scenario here. I want to know when I can actually start these. So we're going to look at Iron Gate 5s here and say, show me where I can start these. Tempest understands the different roles that you have out here. And you've got actually named people out here. And, essentially it's telling you, if you plan at a named person level, we can start this 1st of April. But if you just use the role itself, meaning I don't care what the person is, as long as they've got the skill set that I need, then you can push this back. This one at least 30 days, right? Very, very handy to do that. We can also come in and say, hey, let's start this work, right? We're going to include it, and boom. Wow, look, before and after. Essentially, you're blowing away all these teams down here, making it worse for them. So you're going to have to be very thoughtful. And this is consistent as well, right? It told us that we really shouldn't be starting this until 2025, and we're trying to start this in 2024. Again, if you come out here from a financial perspective and look at this as well, I happen to have broken this budget view out by portfolio. You can see that I'm over allocated here. If I want to look at this, on a month-by-month basis, I'm good for the first part of the year, but getting worse toward the trailing end. It's same kind of deal, right? You can come in here and see which work is driving, these budget over allocations, and these are shifting at the same time that I'm shifting my projects. So very handy to be able to look at these things holistically, see the interrelated impacts of moving and shifting work across both your roles, your projects, and your finances as well. You, of course, can roll any of these back, as you would like. You can do this one at a time, or all of them. Very handy. So this gives you a feel for the value you get from doing things from a modeling perspective. We would love to chat with you about this more if you would like. We're available at ProSymmetry.com. We offer free trials. I would encourage you to run out to the website, take a look around. If you'd like a free trial, let us know. If you'd like to just talk, let us know. We'd be happy to visit with you. Thanks for your time.